let's start off here with, I guess, the potential opportunity. We know there's been a big push by corporations and governments, for that matter, to beef up their cybersecurity defenses, if you will, here. How much do you think the current conflict unfolding right now in the Middle East could accelerate that?
Look, I mean, the tragic events that we've seen, I think it's one from a cybersecurity perspective. This is not just from a government perspective that we're seeing just in the U.S. or in Israel, but I think what we're seeing across enterprises is you are seeing cybersecurity spend that's going to be up 20% next year, regardless of what we saw this year. And I think that's important because this is becoming, from a high priority perspective, names like CrowdStrike, Zscaler, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, again, with a lot of them actually based either in Israel or huge R&D. I mean, this is actually a golden age for cybersecurity. And I think what you're seeing more and more is how important it is becoming even in the geopolitical landscape.
I'm curious about, when we talk about these cybersecurity companies, it seems at times that it is somewhat diverse or dispersed, I guess is the word I'm looking for here. And I'm wondering if we do end up seeing some degree of consolidation among some of these players.
Yeah, look, I think we are going to see a surge, a tidal wave of M&A.
Yeah.
And I think this is really get out the popcorn moment for that. I mean, we've started to see some M&A in terms of Cisco, Splunk.
Yeah.
I think that's just the start because this is really going to be a golden age for cybersecurity. And when you look what's happened with AI, we believe this is actually going into a 3Q earnings season where tech stocks rip higher, despite what clearly is a nerve-wracking environment and a lot of agita up there. And I think that's really going to be the theme here. Cloud, cybersecurity, big tech leads us higher.
So when we talk about M&A, I'm fascinated by that. Are we thinking more companies like Cisco, old tech companies, buying some of these players, or consolidation between the little players themselves?
Well, I think you're going to have the strategics. You look at what I believe like Oracle. I think Microsoft could do more deals. I think Adobe and some others. And look what happened with Microsoft Activision. I mean, that was a black eye for Khan and the FTC. That's really showing big tech flexing muscles. They're not worried too much about the 202 area code. So you're going to see the strategic deals, and then I think financial. I think financial, you look at PE and M&A. I mean, this is going to be it's a get out the popcorn moment. I believe we are going to see M&A massively spike over the next 3 to 6 months.
All right, get out the popcorn moment is certainly one way to think about it. I want to focus in on Palantir in particular, because with the conflict in the Middle East, you say that Palantir will be a key partner of Israel. We already know Palantir is a key partner of the U.S. government as well. Is it limited in any way in terms of how many governments it can partner with?
Well, it's not. Look, let's take a step back. As a pure play AI name, it's probably the best software out there from core AI, what Karp and Palantir have done. When it comes to defense, that's clearly their strength, right? So they will be the eyes and ears, you know, especially for Israel, IDF. We've seen that in the U.S. as well. I mean, Palantir, you talk about defense budgets and where this is all going, strategically the top of the list. And I think it just shows more and more, even as they've gone into enterprises. Palantir, I still believe, is a very underappreciated story by investors that really don't understand what could really be the full, what I believe, AI story playing out here.
I am curious about that, too, because I understand that there's a certain black box with this company that is kind of a necessity, given some of what they do here. But I also feel that we don't necessarily hear enough sometimes from the executives there. We don't see them as much here. Does that matter to you?
Yeah, look, I think there's no doubt. I think by nature of what they do, there's a lot of stuff that they can talk about. I do believe they have started, you know, we were at a customer conference, you know, a month or two ago. I mean, they've started to be a little, from an investor perspective, a little more open. But I think that's going to be part of the story. I mean, if you look at Karp and Palantir building, and we've called it what I view as probably one of the gems in AI, and I think it's just starting here. Defense was actually their roots. Enterprise and going forward, that's really going to be a lot of the core growth. We believe this is really going to be an AI revolution with Palantir playing a major role.